Am I sitting comfortably? If I am, then I will begin. My name is Graham Gordon Thomas, and through those my videos, if you're interested or not, I'm trying to bring some insight into the rational truth of things to give people better clarity about certain conversations that are happening on the net. The one that is very interesting is the idea that people have that because we know there are free energy systems with permanent magnets and hydrogen cells and other ways of creating energy a lot cheaper for the household. We know that. You don't have to be a great scientist to understand that is already the case. And people say, well, why don't we have these systems in to replace oil and coal and gas? Well, the answer is very, very simple. The answer is very simple, because the economy would absolutely collapse overnight. Because so long as all these people who demand more and more material things, they need more finance to gain the material growth that's required, society requires, and fill your shops with goods and fill your cars with petrol. Until they can replace the economic system they have, what keeps the masses satisfied, with another, then they have to continue with the system they have until far into the future yet. You can't suddenly, to save the planet by cutting out on all the use of fossil fuels rather quickly, would collapse the economy, and many thousands or millions of people would starve or be homeless and hungry and unemployed because of the sudden collapse in the amount of jobs worldwide fossil fuel industry has generated and continues to generate and grow. In fact, all windmills and all solar panels, there would be none built. If we stopped having fossil fuels, there would be no more solar panels made, no more wind generators made, nothing made at all. There would be nothing made. It would be back to the old iron smelter and the old woodworking classes, and back to the old tools where it will run without machines, because at this time the world consumes so much energy in its economy that energy has to be produced through fossil fuels because they have the energy density. If energy density is best looked upon as dollar density, economic density, there's a lot of economic density in a kilo of coal, a lot more than there is in a kilo of solar panels. A kilo of coal, whatever, will make some sort of contribute to the building of a solar panel and the paying of it. A solar panel needs the input of the coal, so the solar panel is a lost system. And I know it looks like a wonderful fantasy to say we can run America with solar or run the world with solar, but reality is you have to pay for this solar. If you have to choose what you want. If you want a reasonable, comfortable lifestyle, then you have to use the density of energy to afford and create the economics to give you the comforts of the lifestyle that majority of people, aspire to. So this is a conundrum. What we need is a sort of sliding scale system, what people can volunteer into and participate in, what reduces their, say, material demands, but maybe replaces that with leisure demands, like replacing the capital of materialism with the capital of leisure. So leisure becomes your capital rather than the material. So you may not have all the fancy goods and a car and everything like that. You may be happy with a basic house to live in and basic amenities, You can deal with that, but you've got more leisure. So you've swapped leisure for material goods. If people can do that, then they can get into a less energy density economy. And it's about nutritional density in food. If you can eat a small amount of food that's full of nutrients, then you won't get fat and you'll have all the energy you want. Because you've got nutritional density. It's energy. There's energy in the nutrition. It's exactly the same in energy in fossil fuels. The energy density in fossil fuels is dollar density. That dollar density then affords the expansion of solar panels. You can't have everything, in other words. And if you take one thing away, you will have nothing. You take fossil fuels away, and you could replace them with uranium and nuclear fuel. That is the only alternative now to give bulk power to run some of the economy, at least. But as it is, the amount of solar panels and wind generators required to run all the world's economy and all the world's everything, your lifts and your machinery and all your cars, is so many that the amount of coal required to be burnt to make those things, to generate the energy and to produce the metals and the byproducts for all that, is phenomenal. The more wind generators you make, the more coal you need to burn. Besides, from coal and fossil fuels, there are many thousands of derivative jobs through oils and paints and chemicals and all those things that make up our daily life, for fabric and clothing and dyes and medicines and everything, your paints for your cars, and everything comes from those products, byproducts from coal and oil. So anyone who says and demands, they're making these childish demands and pushed by idiots like Al Gore that we all must stop using these fossil fuels, unless you have an answer what allows a gradual take-up of a new sort of way of living, then you can't force this reduction, economic reduction on others, while some like Al Gore and his cronies get wealthier. So in other words, the climate change is about sacrificing the poor and less well off, whilst making the elite and some people extremely wealthy. So they're making people suffer now to save people from suffering later. It's extremely selfish and greedy, and it's nothing to do with climate change, which needs another philosophical approach altogether, which I will then attempt to do in another video. Because I keep this short, I will attempt to explain that how the philosophy may need to be changed to adapt into this less ecologically degrading system that humans must move into to stop them degrading the planet while their population grows. Everyone says, oh, we worry about the population growth. I'm not. I don't see it as a problem. I see all these problems as something that just need to be solved as they arise, not panic about or create panic and fear about, because people can't see the way of solving their own problems. But some people are endowed throughout the history of humanity to solve these problems as they arise. There aren't any problems, only solutions if you're prepared to ask the questions, and by asking the questions you get the answers. People like Al Gore should stop panicking the young and the vulnerable and the ignorant. And climate scientists shouldn't keep saying global warming. Come up with an economic solution that doesn't make people, poor people poorer. Then we'll listen to you. Until then, you're all barking mad. Yes, the climate might be changing, but why make poor people suffer further in Western countries for your climate dreams? There needs to be a rethink about the whole idea of it, because people are being forced into a belief system that may be leading them up a path to their own destruction. Thank you. My name's Graham Gordon Thomas. Untangling some of the fakery that goes along with the news.